And we are now joined by members of the Tarleton State Texans basketball team. In the center of our podium is the head coach, Misty Wilson. To her right, the near side, we have McKinley Bostad. McKinley is a 5'8" senior from Kennedale, Texas. On the far side, coach's left, we have Mackenzie Haley. Mackenzie is a 6'2" junior from Burleson. And Coach Wilson, your comments on a game where I think perseverance would be an appropriate term for your team's play.
Yeah, I thought I want to give Midwestern a lot of credit. They came out with a really great game plan and did a really good job of executing that for 40 minutes, and gave us every bit of basketball that we wanted in this game. And I have a ton of respect for Coach Johnson and the things that she does there, and the type of kids that she has and plays with. And I just want to give them a lot of credit. First of all, thought it was just a physical game. It wasn't pretty on either side, I don't think, but it was a defensive struggle. And thankfully, we defended well enough to keep us in the game when our shots weren't falling.
You talk about defense. Young lady here on your right had 6 fouls drawn, which usually is a charge or something similar, but then you had a young freshman with 1.5 step in there and make a key play.
Yeah, she did. I mean, crucial. And, that's what we just finished talking about in the locker room, is that you never know when your time's going to come. And, the good thing is Camden Faurie works every day to prepare herself for this time. And it worked out. And, she got great position and took a charge as opposed to it being an and one in that situation.
McKinley, you had a 22-point outing. You also had, on the defensive end, 3 steals, 3 block shots. And as we mentioned, you stepped in on 6 plays that resulted in offensive fouls and turnovers. Talk a little bit about your mindset today and how you saw the game play out.
Well, my mindset is always to win. So I think we were all just going in there with the mindset of we got to play together as a team. And if we play together, we can be anybody. So I think that was our collective mindset.
Defensively, you put up offensive numbers, but you play at both ends of the floor.
That's how you win.
Okay, Mackenzie, 15 points, 7 rebounds, 4 steals, again, doing it on both ends of the floor. Today, Midwestern State was getting production out of Hannah Reynolds inside. That's kind of your territory as well. Talk a little bit about the inside play.
In practice, we worked on it on fronting and getting through, and I think we just had to stick to what we know and get through and play how we know how to play and just rely on our teammates to be there to get the rebound.
Questions for the Texans?
Coach, they switched to a 2-3 zone. You guys owned the points in the paint in the first half. They come out in a 2-3 zone. What kind of problems did that pose for you there in the second half?
I think it just kind of, we had to adjust our mindset somewhat, because historically you look at our team versus the zone, and we still actually score a lot of points in the paint against the zone. I'm not sure we were asserting our authority in the paint like we normally do against the zone, but I think the first couple possessions we really struggled, but once we settled into a routine, we hit a couple threes, went inside out, and collapsed the defense and then made the right play and got an open look.
Talked about the 44 points in the paint, Coach. Kind of talk about what you saw down there. And, Mac, can you kind of talk about Hannah Reynolds? What makes her such a tough guard down there?
You want me to go first?
Yeah, you can go first.
Okay. Points in the paint, that was actually one of the keys to victory for us, that we had to win the paint. And so, whether it was getting the ball inside or whether it was with penetration, that was what we wanted. That's why we kind of spread the floor a little bit, looked to make a ball fake and get to the rim. The first couple of possessions, you saw Kaylee Allen do that, saw McKinley do that over and over again. And we just think that if we can break down their defense and make the right play, that we're going to get a good look. And, that's what our guards did. And even, Katie Webster, who didn't have, she was in foul trouble and didn't have a great game. She had 6 assists. Okay, so she was doing a good job of collapsing that defense and then making the right play.
Hannah, she's a great defender. She's one of the top people in the conference with the blocks, and I think we just had to shot fake and go up, and I think we did that pretty well.
McKinley, Coach talked about when they went to zone, the inside-out game. You hit 2 huge threes when the game was tied. It extended the lead. They really never got back tied again. Talk about your mindset on, and one of those was an NBA range 3. It was really deep. Talk about your mindset stepping into those shots.
Oh my goodness, I'm so happy I hit them first off. I've been struggling from the 3 lately. But when people go to zone, my eyes kind of light up because I know that they're going to collapse on Mac and Katie because they're such good post players, and I know that they're going to kick it out. So in my mind, I'm going to shoot it, I'm going to shoot it, I'm going to make it, and they went in when I needed them to. So
Those threes were the only two the Texans hit all game.
really,
Yeah.
oh.
Get to a point you wonder, should I be taking this? But that doesn't seem to be the call from the bench. Let's not do it.
I'll let it fly. Let it fly in that situation. I think you've got to.
Coach Wilson, late in the game there, that free throw, McKenzie's at the line, it appeared that you asked her to miss that second shot. Can you talk about not just the strategy in doing that, but also how much trust you have to have in a player to make a play like that?
I'll be honest, in that decision, experience leads us to a lot of the decisions that we make. And in the back of my mind was that Cameron game where we drew up that play with 1.1 seconds left and ended up winning it on that play. So with 1.5 seconds left and we made it and they still get, the clock doesn't run, I just thought, maybe the ball get tipped around a little bit, we'll run a little more. I mean, at that point, it was still going to be a 3's going to win it, 2's going to tie it, okay? So, or I guess a 2 would win it too. But so I just told her to miss it and try to run some clock off. And then any little touch at that point would have secured the victory. And we were pretty comfortable with what we were able to do there.
You talked to me before the game, said it was going to take a team defensive effort in this one. I thought your team was great in the first half and was terrific down the stretch. What stood out to you on the defensive end today?
I guess the roller coaster, and we talked about it, so I'm not saying anything they don't know. But I thought in the first half we really were intense. We were urgent. Every possession seemed to matter. Whereas in the second half, I feel like short of the last maybe 3 minutes, that we kind of had a glazed look. And hopefully we can learn from that and understand that victories aren't going to continue to come if we do that. We've got to learn to play 40 minutes and be intentional and, have the same sense of urgency in the second half as we did the first.
McKinley, I ask you, one thing that makes it seem like Midwestern's a tough guard out top is their guards are all so different. You've got Kazard who likes to charge in, and then you've got Shaw who likes to shoot from the outside. Can you kind of talk about the challenge? They're a dynamic group.
Yeah, they are. They're a great team. But, we're also very versatile on defense too, and I think that, when we do switch, Mac does a good job, Mac and Katie do a good job of keeping them in front, and then we're able to get around the post, get back out there. I think we're just a good defensive team, and it's hard to match up with us as well.
Real quick, last one for Coach and for Mac. Cannon Faurie, Coach, I was going to ask about her progression this year. A lot of people around here be surprised. I don't think you are, that she makes that huge play then. Can you kind of talk about her? And Mac, what did you see on that final play as it kind of broke down?
Yeah, Camden is what I guess a lot of coaches would call a cerebral player. She understands the game, very smart. A lot of times is going to make the right decisions, offensively or defensively. She understands her limits defensively, and that's probably been the biggest progression, is that she's learned to play defense against quicker people. That's been great to see, because now you can afford to have such an outstanding player that, again, continues to give us versatility and size on the perimeter, on the floor, because you trust her tremendously.
Mac, what did you see on the final play? I mean, that's typically your spot there, drawing the charge, but that's
right.
Freshman step in.
Which is fine. I'll pass the torch to her any day. I just kind of saw, because it was lobbed over, and you just kind of saw Cannon's eyes light up, and she went there and she set her feet and she took the charge.
For the past 42 years, and with over 28 million sold, more people have put their hard-earned money on a Ford F-Series truck than any other pickup in America. Yeah, I'd say that's money well spent. It's Ford Truck Month, America. Time to join the stampede.
Now get 0 for 72 months with 0 down and 0 payments for 90 days on all 2018 F-150s. Plus, get $2,500 cash back on XLT.